How's it going, guys? It's Devin Caswell on YouTube here. Now, today's the start of a series called Life's Greatest Battles. Now, the first battle that we're going to talk about today is the battle against your flesh. Now, I was at Starbucks working on some sermons and some messages and stuff like that, and this guy came in, and we struck up conversation. And we started talking, and I'm not going to say his name because he went through all sorts of personal things, but he started telling me about his life. You know, he grew up in gangs. He grew up with his family participating in witchcraft and demonic spiritual stuff. He did all sorts of crime. He shot at people. People shot at him. He eventually went to prison. He even showed me his scars where he's been shot and stabbed and stuff. It was crazy. But he went to prison, and after he got out of prison, he got saved. And he was venting to me. He's like, man, I haven't been walking the righteous path that I need to, man. I want to be like the prodigal son and just come back to my father. And I challenged him. I was like, well, why don't you, man? And here's what he said. He said, I'm not worthy. I've done too many rotten things to serve God, dude. You don't understand. You haven't been through it. Maybe some of you can relate to that. Maybe you haven't done the crazy things that this guy has done, but maybe you don't feel worthy to serve God. You feel too gross. You feel too icky. You feel like you've committed too much sin to even take a step towards God, towards God's holiness. I'm telling you, that's a lie from the enemy. Your past mistakes don't define you. You can't change the past, but you can choose what to do going forward. So what are you going to do going forward? What are you going to change in your life for the better? Now, there's a verse, and it's Matthew chapter 9, verses 12 through 13. And before I dive into this verse, I want to give you some context. Jesus was sitting at a table with sinners and tax collectors. And at this time, in this biblical time, this wasn't good for a religious man to be doing. It was considered wrong. So the Pharisees were questioning Jesus, and this is Jesus' response to them. He said, "It's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." This verse tells us that Jesus didn't come just to save sinners like me and you. He came to call sinners like me and you to pursue Him. And you don't have to be perfect to do that. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just expects you to walk in the right direction. Now, God does call you to live righteously. And living righteously just means living a lifestyle that's holy and pleasing to God. And that can be hard to do because our flesh desires sinful nature. And sometimes we even feel imprisoned to our sinful desires. For instance, an alcoholic feels imprisoned to their addiction of alcohol. When they're happy, they drink. When they're sad, they drink. And they feel imprisoned to this addiction. They feel like they can't live without it. Maybe some of you feel imprisoned to an addiction, or maybe you just feel imprisoned to sinful desires of some kind, and you feel like you can't escape. Well, if you feel that way, I'm here to tell you that God has ripped off the doors to your prison cell, and you can step out whenever you feel like it. When Jesus Christ died on the cross for you, He set you free from your sins and your transgressions. Jesus Christ didn't just die on that cross. He was slaughtered. They beat Him up, they whipped Him. He had to carry a cross up a mountain for a mile. He got stabbed, He got spit on. He was so disrespected. He was slaughtered for you, to set you free. So when Jesus Christ died on that cross, the doors to your prison cell were ripped off. Now all you have to do is take initiative to take that step out. There's no one preventing you from stepping out that prison cell other than yourself. And I promise you, if you step out that prison cell, you'll be one step closer to conquering one of life's greatest battles. Thank you so much for you guys' time. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, any questions, go ahead and comment them below. Again, thank you so much. Please subscribe. God bless.